Welcome back to my channel. So Prime Minister Andrew Holness addressed the nation in Parliament. One of the things he said was that 5,000 container homes were ordered. Out of the 5,000 container homes, how much of that will be handed out? My guess is telling me that it will be a small percentage. The bulk of it will be going to the National Housing Trust for the survivors to take out mortgages to pay for these container homes. Prime Minister Andrew Holness outlined in Parliament yesterday the government's plan to compensate hurricane victims and fast-track repairs for the most vulnerable Jamaicans. So he explained that the sick, the elderly, persons or incapacitated, persons who are not able to do the work themselves, most likely, that's what we classify as the vulnerable, the aged, right? And those who are sick, maybe they have medical issues and other issues, and or they just don't have the mental capacity to do it themselves. So they will be using the services of the JDF, Jamaica Defense Force, to repair these homes, and they're probably just mostly going to focus on the roofs for now. They'll be going around with things like tarpaulin and so on to repair the roofs and the homes to make them livable. I mean, it's been 3 weeks, so they have been waiting for a long time, but we're glad for this announcement because everybody was just waiting. When are they going to announce something? So many people are out there sleeping in all type of makeshift homes, right? Even the young kids. So we were very concerned. So it's still not over. They have another 2.5 months to go. But they're trying to make the situation better. But what about the ones who don't have a home to even repair? So they would have to probably start dropping some tents for those people. National Housing Trust, he said, ordered 5,000 container homes. And some will be made available for sale, random sale, wherever you are, your location. They have it pulled there, have it transported to wherever you are if you have your private land and so on. And then some will be available in housing schemes, transferred to the new social housing program, so to be given away. And I knew he wasn't going to be giving away homes randomly. So he'll be targeting the very vulnerable, as I mentioned, vulnerable, the sick, the elderly, those who are incapacitated, those who can't earn a living and so on, maybe sick and so on. And also persons who have no income or low income. And of course, they're going to be interviewing people to make sure that they qualify for this. So not everyone is going to get, even if you're on a low income scale or zero income scale, that doesn't mean that you're going to automatically get a home. So you just have to keep your fingers crossed and pray, because they'll be looking out for the vulnerable first. And then I think they're going to go on to the other, sectors of the survivors. So I would think, I don't know what percentage. My mind is telling me that most of those homes will be under the NHT for sale, random people with lands, as I mentioned, and for you to take out a mortgage. I would think that more homes would have been ordered because 150,000 were affected. So let's say you do 10% of that. I would be happy with that, at least 10%, and say half of it goes to the NHT and another half social housing programs to be handed out to low income or no income and the very vulnerable in society. So that's what they've decided. So of course, none of us can do anything about it. The other option, though, I was saying they should have been given some more options. What about prefab homes done locally? There are so many companies in Jamaica that are doing prefab homes and prefab modular homes, where they have all, one big piece of side panel with like five, six pieces of side panels for the home and the roof, and then the plumbing and all that goes in the next day. So those homes usually they take about 2 days, 3 days the most to go up. And there's a lot of companies, prefab modular home companies in Jamaica operating. So wants it to be speedy, option is there to get some modular homes right here in Jamaica. I don't know cost wise. Maybe they're looking at that as well. Shipping costs and all of that, it adds up too. So that's another option. And food for the poor. These are wood homes, but high quality. None of the homes were affected in the previous hurricanes. And I spoke to someone at Food for the Poor. For this particular Cat 5, I was trying to verify, but I didn't get anyone. And they said that for all the other hurricanes, they've never had a report that the home was damaged or lost the roof. That solidifies what they said about the quality of the homes. And they have the space, they're quite spacious downstairs. They have the kitchen, a nice full kitchen, a nice washroom. And then they have some that comes with lofts. Kids can go up there and sleep, or an adult can go up in the loft and sleep. You have the ladder and then you go upstairs. It's just a small space just for a bed, or maybe like a computer and a desk and a chair. So a lot of people would love it for an extra sleeping space. You don't feel cramped and so on. I've seen some of the 20-foot containers and they're pretty small inside. I would say just for one or two persons, not for a family type situation. Unless you were getting two 20-foot containers, then now you have a little more space. And it's just 2 bedrooms the most. 2 small bedrooms, kitchen, bathroom, and a small space for like a sitting area. Maybe just a couch, just maybe a couch, a small couch, and a little space for a TV. But it's still something, right? And if you're getting this without cost and you're able to add to it, you can add to it. Either get another container or find out a way where you can get this extended in a safe way. That's possible. That's why I like the prefab modular homes, because you're able to extend on them. You can go upstairs or you can go, wider sideways. So you're able to start out with like a 1 bedroom and it ends up in a 3 or 4 bedrooms. And the other option, that was the food for the poor option. I really like the way they stand up to the wind and the rain, no complaints, the high quality workmanship, and the material speaks for itself. And it is a lower cost. It's $5,000 for one. So if the government wants to just maybe get a bunch of these and give out to citizens as well, if they if money is a factor, maybe you could try topping it up with some food for the poor homes, because these are nice homes. Judging from what we are seeing, sometimes some homes are in very, very bad condition, and these food for the poor homes would be from a 1 to a 10. So, and they can be extended to get a bigger home. Also, I saw, this product where you can actually go around the home and it looks like a brick. It would end up looking like a brick. So you're putting it over the wood to make it look like it's a brick home. It looks so nice, and it can be used on block homes too. So, you're skipping the rendering process, rubbing down that block and all that. You're just putting this fake brick right around. Another option you can do, if you really, really have money, if you really have a lot of money, then you can even block it up. Because a lot of people transfer from wood to blocks. You can just block it up and you would get a block home if, in the future, if you have the financial means to do that. They really stand up in hurricanes. No one had any complaints. That sealed the deal for me because of the space factor. They come with a water tank, and they have a porch, and they have the space. So that one to me is nice. The prefab homes, the one that come with, slabs, those are probably a little bit more expensive, and the government may not want to do those. Yeah, so those are the prefab ones. they're probably a little bit more expensive. This should have been given. That's just what I think. What do you think in the comment section? Let me know. So just to explain the rebuilding grant portion, that too will be done. It will be categorized. So the rebuilding grant is money. How much, we don't know. But from what the Prime Minister is saying, everyone who was a hurricane survivor, or if you say hurricane victim, will get this grant. But they have to now categorize how much is going to be paid out according to your loss. And they're still doing that assessment. So there's no figure on how much each person will be getting. It will be categorized as severe, moderate, and then, of course, minor. So wait for that number. But everybody should be getting a payout according to the Prime Minister. Is a tier system. Let's get some tents put up for these people. A little bit safer than just being outside, because there's so many people who are sleeping in houses that are half gone. So it's not safe at all for them. But they have nowhere else to go. I saw one gentleman sleeping in a bathtub. So we need help for the citizens. So if you could get some tents, some mattresses, because we saw mattresses coming in as well, tents, comforters, all of these things were coming in. So if we could get some out to the people who really need the help. Thank you so much for joining me on this video. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Take care of yourself and others. Bye for now. See you on the next video.